Thank you all for coming this afternoon. I want to thank the Chief for joining me and the members of the New Orleans Police Department that have been working around the clock. Last night, another tragic event took place on the streets of New Orleans, on the 2800 block of Saratoga Street. We had a one-year-old, Londyn Samuels, who was shot and killed while he was in the arms of an 18-year-old who was holding him, who was also shot and is currently in stable condition at LSU Medical Center. This was another senseless, tragic incident on the streets of New Orleans that are part of the persistent drumbeat of death that we have talked about so long in the city. Our law enforcement personnel have been working around the clock and worked all night. We are looking for two male suspects that the Chief will speak about in a minute. But I want to put out this clarion call to the people of the city of New Orleans. We talk a lot about the persistent violence, but when a young child is taken from us like this, like so many before us, including Jeremy Gallman, who was 2 years old when he was shot. That trial is going on as we speak. Kiera Holmes was 2-year-old, shot down on December 18th, a couple of days before Christmas, right before her second birthday. Brianna Allen, 5-year-olds. This community has got to stand up and with force and power speak with one voice and say, this is completely and totally unacceptable. The reason I'm saying this is because we've only had one call to CrimeStoppers. And this is what we know about incidents like this. There are always witnesses, and people know who did it. And the only way that we're going to stop the culture of violence on the streets of New Orleans is for the people of New Orleans to participate and to say no. When we have had success in aggressive apprehension, arrest, and prosecution, it is because the public has come forward and has assisted us. We cannot shirk and shrink from this responsibility. We have to really stand up and talk as a community. And when a baby like this gets killed, we have to all stand up and say that this is not a tolerable situation, and we are going to bring it to a halt no matter what it is that we have to do. The shooting has got to stop. This year, we have 97 murders versus 130 murders last year. In the first 7 months, we have now had a 25.4% reduction, and that is because everybody has been working really, really hard, and the numbers are heading in the right direction. But when we have a tragic event like this, it's worth taking a moment to stop and sending a clear message once again that this is completely and totally unacceptable. We as a community, all of us, especially the individuals that live in the neighborhood and the people who know, are going to say that we cannot have this, and we are going to do everything we can to stop it. Tonight at 6 o'clock p.m., we are going to have a community response that is hosted by Ceasefire. We're going to go out to the corner of South Saratoga and Washington Avenue. I'm asking the community to join me. We believe these are really important messages to the entire city, the entire nation, and to the entire community, that we are going to stand together shoulder to shoulder and make sure that we protect the least among us. And we are going to be joining that tonight in honor of and in remembrance of Londyn Samuels, who was a 1-year-old that was killed. I am now going to turn it over to Chief for more details, and then we'll answer any questions that you guys might have. Thank you.
As you know, a little while ago, we released some video photographs that had not been released yet. These photographs show two persons of interest that we need the public's help in identifying. We know that people in our community know more about this than they're telling us. We would ask the people of New Orleans who know something about this to ask yourself, what kind of a man would shoot at a woman holding a child? That's not the kind of person you want to protect and keep information from law enforcement about. Please notify us. Last night, these two young men were seen in that block. They were seen before the shooting in that block. We know they were in the shooting in the block before and after the shooting. Somebody, we believe, has seen something. Neither one of them have turned themselves in. We're working leads aggressively. Our homicide unit has non-stop worked on this case since last night. You know that CrimeStoppers has doubled the award to $5,000 for any information that may lead to the arrest and successful prosecution. But we are very surprised. We get CrimeStoppers tips every day, and one of the things that's made a big difference in our community and in our efforts has been CrimeStoppers tips. In this case, we need more help. We need more help. Remember, what kind of a man would shoot at a woman holding a child on the streets? Tell us who they are. Let our detectives do the work that they can do. Let us bring these people to justice as soon and as quickly as possible. Please release these pictures widely, and if we get any more pictures, of course, we'll release them right away.
Chief, was there a gunfight going on, or was this woman the intended target?
We have no idea that there was a gunfight. We would believe there were limited bullets. 2 shots, we believe, struck the victim. One of those shots, we believe, actually exited the 18-year-old victim, entered the infant in the chest area, and caused the infant to expire. We do not have any information that there was a gun battle of any sort.
The pictures were taken about 45 minutes before the incident. You said there's evidence of them before and after the incident, or how do you know these are related?
The timestamp on that camera is about 53 minutes late. So that's what would explain that difference. I'm sorry, I should have made that clear.
And today's SWAT roll, the people that you interviewed, those 3 people of interest in that SWAT roll this morning, can you talk about their connection to the case?
You know, as all of you reported, in the middle of the night, we had information that resulted in us calling on our SWAT team in the 2800 block of LaSalle Street. We cleared the house. We did recover evidence that we think may be helpful in this case, and we've not ruled anybody out yet as a person of interest, or as a suspect.
Do you have any names of these 2 people in pictures?
Not yet, no.
Any idea who they are, though?
No, we think that the neighborhood knows who they are. We very strongly believe that that neighborhood knows who these 2 young men are.
I know Nola for Life attempts to try and ease this gun violence and especially look out for young people. This is 1994. James Darby was killed a half block from this location. A case that got national attention and commitments from everybody from President Clinton on down to do something about this sort of crime and its effect on juveniles, yet here we are again.
No question about it. Well, in 1994, James Darby was 8 years old, as many people know now. He was coming home from a Mother's Day picnic at A.L. Davis Park. He had just 2 weeks before that written to President Clinton. And at that point in time, that incident, along with others, formed the precursor for Congress to send down large amounts of money to create the COPS program and hire cops throughout the country. It's one of the things that we continue to talk about. At that time, there were 20,000 murders a year in the United States of America. Last year, there were 13. But as I have said, and I said it last week to the President of the United States, even though the number has been reduced to 13, and even though the murder rate in New Orleans is now as low as it's been in a long time, it's still higher than anybody should accept. One of the reasons we put NOLA for Life together was to send a message that the rules of engagement on the streets of New Orleans have changed. We've now had 4 call-ins. The group violence reduction strategy is working, and it's specifically targeted to the incidents when young men are killing young men. But when a young man kills a child in the arms of an 18-year-old, we're going to take it to a new level. And the message, again, goes out loud and clear. The rules of engagement have changed. This team is going to be aggressive as we possibly can, but we can't get it done if we don't have the community standing up with us shoulder to shoulder saying enough is enough. On top of that, we have to continue to work really, really hard to talk about getting on the front end of the crime as well as the back end of the crime. But make no mistake about it, when an incident like this happens, this is about aggressive law enforcement in partnership with the community. And that is the way that we are going to end the violence on the streets of America. And we're going to start by doing it in the city of New Orleans.
Chief Serpas, one more question. Do you think this is drug-related? Rumors are that that neighborhood, that area is a bed for heroin. Can you talk about that? What do you know?
No, we're not going to rule out any possibility at this time. Right now, the most important thing is to get these pictures out, let people take a look at them, let them think about this behavior, let them think about what these men did to this baby, and give us some information and let us take it from there.